What's up, guys? It's Gracie Gruner here. I'm going to tell you a quick story about how I was flown to Tahiti on a private jet with 7 models when I first moved out to the United States, and I didn't even know anyone. And the reason why I'm going to tell you the story is so that you can see how I set up my social circle to do what I wanted to do, which was surround me with beautiful women and successful, young, rich people, so that I could achieve what I was trying to achieve at the time, which is, my biggest goals were my dating life, my social life, and getting new business opportunities. So I'm going to tell you the story about how that happened, and then you can kind of see how I set up my social circle to engineer my lifestyle in the way that I wanted, and how it was basically facilitating the two things that I wanted most of my life when I first moved here. So I just moved to Los Angeles. I didn't have a pot to piss in, but I knew that I wanted my social circle to do two things. All right, I wanted it to give me access to really, really, really good-looking, high-quality, beautiful women, models if it could happen. And I wanted my social circle to include lots of successful, young, rich guys that could help push me, give me some business opportunities, and allow me to, really, really improve the amount of wealth that I was bringing into my life. Because, I didn't have a pot to piss in, but I did have the skills of building social circles. I knew that. I wanted to be a young, rich, successful, ambitious guy, and I knew to do that, I had to surround myself with guys like that as well. So one of the very first things that I did is when you're trying to create any type of social circle, you got to identify the type of people that you want to be around. So I knew that, okay, if I want to be around beautiful women, models, and I want to be around young, rich, successful people, then I had to put myself in environments that were going to have those abundance of those types of people. So I identified that fashion shows and fashion events would be the most likely. So I did some research and I found that there was going to be this whole string of fashion shows coming up in Los Angeles. So I was like, all right, this whole string of fashion shows, I'm going to get myself an invite to one of these shows or one of the after parties at least. Then at least I know at the after party there's going to be tons of people into fashion. I'm really into fashion. There's going to be lots of beautiful girls because it's the after party of a fashion show. And there's going to be tons of guys who are very successful, who are ambitious, who are on the scene because they wouldn't get the invite otherwise. So using my ninja skills, I managed to get myself an invite to the after party. All right. So now at the after party, I was looking for something very, very, very specific. You have to remember, this was way before we have that crazy bottle service culture that we have now. Like we have this massive bottle service culture now where you go out to any hot nightclub in any major city and you're going to see, guys on tables with loads and loads and loads of girls. That's this bottle service culture that's kind of exploded in the last few years. But when I was doing this, when I first moved to Los Angeles, there was nothing like that. Like the bottle service culture was a bit in the UK when I just left, but there was nothing really like that in LA. And to be fair, LA only really had, I don't know, like 3, maybe 4 nightclubs. There was nothing. It's not like now it's absolutely saturated where you can go out and any night of the week and find tons and tons of clubs. Back then there was only a few. So what I was looking for is that I knew, okay, that if I'm going to get into the social circles of young, ambitious, rich, successful guys, I'm going to need to bring something to the table. Remember, it's all about win-win. I talk about utilities. I'm not going to talk about them in this particular video, but on the YouTube channel, if you just type in utility, there's a little video. It's about 2 minutes long where I explain what utilities are. So I knew that I had to give these guys utility, right? And if you can't figure out what someone's utility is, which is essentially what they want, what's driving them, what their core value system is, if you can't figure that thing out, with men, young men, 99.9% of heterosexual men, their utility is going to be beautiful girls or just women in general, right? If you introduce a guy to his future wife, that guy is going to be indebted to you forever and ever and ever. If you get a guy laid, he's going to be your friend forever and ever and ever. So I knew that was going to be one of the ways that I would be able to connect with other young, affluent, successful guys. So I was looking around the club after party, and my job, I was like, all right, let me go and find a group of guys who look kind of cool but don't have any girls with them. Because if I can find a group of guys who look kind of cool but don't have any girls with them, then it's going to be really easy for me to go and find a group of girls, introduce them, and be the facilitator of that fun. Because that's what you are trying to do the most time when you are creating your social circle, when you're putting people together. You're trying to be the person that facilitates it all, and person that facilitates fun, because a lot of people are shy, all right? A lot of people are shy and they don't want to put themselves out there. And especially back then, not so much now, guys are a bit better at it now, but back then, a lot of the nightclubs you'd go to, you definitely had the whole, high school dance kind of flex where you had boys on one side and girls on the other side and nobody talking to each other. I saw this group of guys, they all look really well dressed. They seem to be having fun, but no girls. So I went over there, I started chatting with them, I shot the shit a little bit, flow some banter back and forth, and I said, hey, what's going on with this sausage party over here? You guys have got no girls around. And we made a little bit of joke about it, and the guy that I seem to be clicking the most with, Josh, I made the joke to him. I said, like, it's a sausage party going on. You got no girls, and we started joking back and forth. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna help you guys out. I'm gonna go find you some cute, agreeable, young, fun girls to help out your party because it's depressing here seeing a bunch of guys dancing by themselves. I went off. I walked around the club for a little bit. I was talking to everybody. I was being really sociable. So I saw this group of girls, right? And they were absolutely stunning. And one of them was especially good looking, like totally my type. And as I kind of walked past her, I just made a quick comment. I said, do you know what? You look absolutely stunning with your hair up. And that's just one of my own personal preferences. I really like girls with their hair up. And I found for me, it was always quite a fun way to start a conversation because I actually enjoy girls having their hair up, and it was always a way to get a little like back and forth going with the girl. So I said to us that you look absolutely amazingly beautiful with your hair up. I'm not saying you're not beautiful. I'm just saying your hair up, you look gorgeous. And she kind of made a little dig at me like, what do you know? And then we started joking about fashion and did some banter back and forth. And I found out that her and her girls, the group of girls that she was with, they'd all been on one of the fashion shows earlier that week. And now that they'd finished shooting, they basically had like a week and a half, 2 weeks off in LA and were just enjoying the city. So I said to them, hey, do you know what? You guys seem really, really fun. I want to introduce you to my friends, but I've got to make sure that you guys are fun first, right? I don't want anyone hanging out with us. It's not cool. And they were like, no, we're so much fun, and we're just here to party. We're just here to have a good time. We're only going to be in LA for a few more days or a week or whatever it was. So they were like, they were trying to meet my expectation of me saying they were fun. So I was like, perfect. All right, I'm going to go introduce you to Josh and my friends. So I now walk back over to Josh with like a group of chicks, right? And his eyes were like, psh. He was like, whoa, what the? Like this guy was gone like 5 minutes and he comes back with like a throng of smoking hot girls. So everybody's having a good time. Everyone's just enjoying themselves. And so I say to Josh, I was like, hey, do you know what would be really, really great is if we had an after party to go to. That would be absolutely amazing. And Josh says, do you know what? I got it covered, all right? Just round everybody up. We're going to go back to my place for the after party. We all go back to his place for the after party and we get to his house. It's in the hills. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on with this kid? Because this guy is about maybe a few years older than me, but he's definitely not up to 30 yet. And he's living in a house that is ridiculous. Like it seemed like it took us 5 minutes just to get from the gate to his house. And then it looked more like a university campus than a house. It was just nuts. So I was like, dude, what do you do? So he ended up telling me that he'd inherited some money, but then he'd used the money that he inherited from his parents, because I think his parents built like some plastic containers. Basically, his parents had made like a fortune with plastic containers, and then he didn't inherit in some money, and then he had set up a private jet company. So all of the after party, me and him are bonding, and I said to him, do you know what would be really awesome? I know these girls don't have to go back home for a few days. You got a private jet company. Why don't we all go somewhere? It's going to be a lot of fun. So he was like, Greg, if you can make this happen, right, I will absolutely sort it out. I'll sort out the plane. I'll get everyone the flight. It's all good. I've got a fleet of planes. If you can make it happen, if you can sort it out for all these girls, that'd be great. Now you got to remember, this was before Instagram, so like you didn't have any like Dan Bilzerians or other people on Instagram or on any type of social media doing this stuff. So it wasn't something that was common. It wasn't something that was common that you'd see a guy, especially a young guy, like flying all around the world in a private jet with a group of girls. It just hadn't been happening yet. So I said, well, do you know what? Carbo would be pretty awesome. Josh was like, do you know, dude, fuck Cabo. Let's do it big. If we're gonna do it, let's do it big. Let's go to Tahiti. And I was like, all right, give me a sec. Let me talk to the girls. So I started talking to the girls. I was like, look, you guys are just here for a few more days. How spontaneous are you? They were like, we're really spontaneous. Do you want to do something really fun? I said, do you want to do something really fun that you've never done before? They were like, yeah, we're totally down. We're spontaneous. I said, all right, have you all got your passports? Yeah, we've all got our passports. Okay, we're going to Tahiti. And the girls were like, whoa, we're going to... They were obviously loved it. I still was a little bit skeptical. I shouldn't have been, because this guy's house was ridiculous, right? But I was still a bit skeptical that he was going to fly all of us out to Tahiti. I went back to Josh. I was like, dude, it's set up, it's hooked up, the girls are in. Some of them can't, some of them don't want to, but 7 of them are 100% in. Can you make this happen? He's like, all right, my driver is going to take everybody home. He's going to get all your passports, we'll meet you at Van Nuys, and he's going to pick you up and take us to Van Nuys tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Okay, get a call from him the next day. Hey dude, are you still in? I'm like, I'm still in. He goes, are the girls still in? I said, all right, let me text one of them. Text her. She texts me back. She goes, yo, we're already awake. We're waiting. What's happening next? His driver comes, picks everyone up, drives us all down to Van Nuys. Plane is ready and waiting. We all get on the plane. We fly to Tahiti. We have an amazing time. Just me, him, and 7 of the models. Let's just kind of recap what I did there and why and how everything kind of went together. Because what I wanted to do was, I knew that I wanted to have a social circle where I didn't have to really go out looking for girls all the time. I knew I wanted to have a social circle which had women in it. So in my mind, whenever I was going out and meeting women, I wasn't going out there trying to hit on them. I was going out there trying to make friends with girls that I got along with, because if I had friends with them, then that would open up so many more opportunities to date loads of other different types of women. Additionally, I knew the type of woman I wanted to date, which was, you know, beautiful women in the fashion world. So I researched and found where all the fashion shows were. So on the romantic side of that, I put myself in the environment that was that was likely to have the most opportunities for me to meet the women that I wanted to meet. Now, on a social and professional side, I knew that I had to go around and meet guys who were young, successful, ambitious, and very, very wealthy. How am I going to do that? Well, I had to again put myself in an environment to do that. And when I was at the nightclub, when I was at the after party, I was looking out for guys who dressed well, who looked like they could be successful, who were young, but didn't have girls. Because if they didn't have girls, then I knew that that was something that I could bring to the table, which would make it a win-win. Okay, and that's what I talked about a couple of days ago. Always looking at it from a win-win. What would most guys do? They'd go to the table, they'd try and drink from they'd have one of their drinks. They would say, hey, you know, you seem like a successful guy. I've got this great business idea. Let's work together on it. A lot of people who are in that exchange mindset would have gone over there trying to take something. I went over there and I was like, all right, shot the shit with them a little bit, made a couple of jokes, and then, you know, my whole plan was, I'm going to bring you guys some girls so you can have some fun. Organically, it just kind of went from, hey, let's have some fun, to let's go back to my place for the after party, to, dude, you own a private jet company, let's get some of these beautiful girls and go to Bora Bora in Tahiti. Now, the reason I tell you the story is so that you can see there's nothing that I did that you couldn't go out and do tomorrow either. It's just about knowing what type of social circle you want, what type of people you want to be around, and then having the blueprint and the game plan to actually execute that and live the exact lifestyle that you want. Now, that's one of the things that I'm known for, is giving guys custom-made lifestyles and showing them the blueprint for living the lifestyle that they want. But as we've talked about before and over the last few days, Project Royalty, the #1 men's transformational program in the world, is relaunching January the 2nd, and a massive component on that is how to engineer your lifestyle so you have the exact type of lifestyle that you want. So if you want to fly to Tahiti, you can fly to Tahiti. If you want to, you know, go golf with a bunch of like-minded golf buddies every weekend, you can do that. Whatever lifestyle you want it to look like, Project Royalty, a big component of that in the transformational program, is showing you how to live the lifestyle that you want to live. That was just my little story to you. I get asked about that story all the time. You know, hey Greg, how did you end up in Tahiti with 7 girls on a private jet? I knew exactly what type of social circle that I wanted, and I went through and I executed the steps that I'll show you in Project Royalty so that you can live your own kick-ass, awesome, ultimate dream lifestyle. So what I want you to do right now, okay, comment below whether you're on the YouTube page or whether you're on the Project Royalty website. I want you to comment below and tell me what your ultimate dream lifestyle would look like. What would your ideal social circle look like? All right, I just want to know that. If you leave a comment, don't forget, that gives you the opportunity to win the Apple Watch and 1 month's free coaching worth $4,000 with myself. And in that coaching session, I'll help you actually implement the lifestyle that you want, so you can get up and you can look out of bed and you can be like, I'm so happy to do this day, because every single day gives you exactly what you want out of life. And that's what I will help you with in the coaching, and that's what Project Royalty will help. But to do that, to be in the chance to win that, you've got to comment below. Tell me today, what is your ideal social circle? What's your ideal lifestyle and what it would look like? Other than that, my name is Greg C. Greenway. Project Royalty, the men's #1 transformational program in the world, is back January the 2nd. Make sure you comment on this page. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, where I'll be talking about something else I don't really know yet. Other than that, guys, Greg C. Greenway, I'll speak to you tomorrow. Peace.